want to be like you someday, the 8-year-old girl in the brownie Girl Scout vest said to me one morning in August 2020. It was the morning of the virtual Girl Scout San Diego Volunteer Conference, and I just delivered a presentation to an audience of over 400 adult volunteers. Like me, I remember thinking to myself as I looked at her young, hopeful face, 1 year ago, I lacked the confidence to see myself as an inspirational person or one well-suited to be a leader. I saw myself as an unremarkable, shy, and panicky 16-year-old girl who worried too much about school and too much about social situations. Growing up in a small town where everyone has known everyone for their entire life, meeting new people has been a constant challenge, especially as I've grown older. Entering my freshman year of high school, I found myself clinging to the people I know best, not wanting to venture beyond who and what was comfortable for me. At the same time, academic stress ruled much of my life. I found myself sequestered in my room nearly every day, doing homework and studying for exams. Despite making the grades I desired and having a group of dependable friends, I felt inadequate. Why can't I be naturally intelligent? And why can't I work up the courage to meet new people? Were questions that lingered in my mind as I toiled away in my room. What I failed to recognize in these moments of worry was that I was more than what I perceived to be a lack of natural ability or innate confidence. I was smart enough, in fact, smart enough to be graduating in the top 5 of my senior class this spring. And kind enough, but I did not have the confidence to take full possession of these traits. Back to the morning in August 2020. The young girl had her hopeful eyes set on me, awaiting an answer. I looked down at my Girl Scout vest, one decorated with an array of colorful pins, patches, and awards, all telling the story of my 11 years in Girl Scouting. Looking at her vest, one much smaller than mine and of a different color, similarly ornamented with pins and patches, I realized that I was once a wide-eyed young Girl Scout seeking guidance from her older peers, just like her. I realized that she saw me in a way that I did not see myself at the time. She saw me as a leader. She saw me for more than the flaws that I felt defined me. I looked up at her face, replied, "You can," and began to tell her about how I came to my position, a National Council delegate representing Girl Scouts San Diego. While recounting my story to her, I found myself understanding and acknowledging the weight of my accomplishments and leadership position in a way that I had not before. Recalling how inspiring it was to reach out to hundreds of adult Girl Scout volunteers to gauge feedback on national proposals, and to be mentored by the CEO of Girl Scouts San Diego, I began to see myself through new eyes. The eyes of the 8-year-old Girl Scout, free from the lens of scrutiny I viewed myself through, helped me recognize, understand, and appreciate the leader within. As I embraced the confidence I now realized I had, I felt empowered to fight for the cause that has captivated me for much of my life, our warming planet. Ever since I was a little girl in the back of a car moving westbound to evacuate the looming Witch Creek fire in 2007, I knew I was both fascinated by and fearful of Earth's natural disasters. I was 3 years old when I watched the hills of my hometown become engulfed by roaring orange flames and returned to see them scorched a deep charcoal black, much of its life charred and erased. As I grew older, I watched fires consume my home state of California more often and more ferociously. With every new fire warning, the threat of the climate crisis and generations of lost futures became increasingly petrifying. A month after the volunteer conference, a nearby wildfire cast an orange haze in the sky. Instead of feeling fearful, I remembered the young girl I had met a month ago. I remembered how she looked up to me and how she saw me as a leader. I knew then that I had to harness my leadership skills to become the environmental leader that young girls like her needed. During the fall of 2020, I worked alongside a team of peers and mentors to co-found an environmental activism organization, Girls for Environmental Action, or GEA. The organization aims to provide middle and high school-aged Girl Scouts with the opportunity to connect with environmental issues, learn how to advocate for change, and find hope in communicating with peers who are also passionate about protecting the planet. Through teaching and connecting with over 600 teenage girls from all over Southern California, I have felt a tangible sense of purpose once unknown to me. Before co-founding GEA, I saw my future, one intertwined with the climate crisis, as full of uncertainties. Will the agriculture that supports my hometown begin to fail? Will my future children have clean air to breathe? Although co-founding GEA has not answered these questions, it has provided me the opportunity to give and receive hope in the face of an issue that is so often hopeless. The COVID-19 pandemic has altered my life in more ways than I could have ever imagined. As a teenager, I was allowed a break from the usual academic pressures of school to ponder aspects of my life I had not previously given thorough consideration. Am I truly living in the moment, and am I putting myself out there enough, were questions I asked myself. No and no were the answers I gave. In the time since, I have shed the lack of confidence that once brought me down. In doing so, I had to push myself to meet new people, something I would not have typically done. By putting myself out there, I have formed new friendships in school, Girl Scouts, and even with someone who I met while taking the SAT this spring. Expanding my social circle beyond the people and the town I have known my whole life has given me great confidence in the social skills I once doubted. As I reflect on how much I have gained and achieved with my newfound confidence over the last year, such as meeting new people and establishing GEA, I realize that it would not have been possible without seeing myself through the eyes of someone who understood my true value as a leader. Someone who saw the leader within.